Hey, good morning. I'm Zeki Hamid. It's Friday, and this is Seattle Now. This week, holiday travel is looming, but improvements are on the way at Sea-Tac Airport. Seattle has issued nearly 650,000 parking tickets in the last 2 years, and the Seattle Times found out where you're most likely to get fined. And after 3 years, a guerilla crosswalk on Capitol Hill finally became legit. Transit advocate Alex Hudson and Factal editor Joe Veyera are here to break down the week. But first, let's get you caught up. There's a big decision coming today from your elected leaders in Seattle. The full city council will vote on the 2026 budget proposal, which includes increased funding for affordable housing, public safety, and drug treatment. Today is your last chance to give public comment. The council meeting begins at 1 o'clock and it's streaming live on the Seattle channel. If the full council approves the budget, it will go to Mayor Harrell for his signature. Here's some potentially stress-relieving news if you're traveling for Thanksgiving. Starting next week, Sea-Tac Airport is offering 90 minutes of free parking in the general parking area to help reduce congestion in the pickup and drop-off zones. It'll be free between 7 p.m. and midnight beginning on Monday and lasting through Sunday, November 30th. The Port of Seattle says it expects about 900,000 passengers to pass through the airport over the holiday. Free parking will be offered again around Christmas. And the Seattle Torrent, our newest pro sports team, will hit the ice tonight for their first ever regular season game. They're up in Vancouver to play the Golden Eyes, a fellow expansion team in the Professional Women's Hockey League. The puck drops at 7 p.m. and you can watch the game on KUOW TV. The Torrent's first home game is 1 week from today at Climate Pledge Arena. Check back for more headlines on tonight's episode of Seattle Now. Well, it's Friday, and hope you got that turkey in the freezer already or stuffed squash lasagna. We don't judge over here. Alex Hudson is here. She's a local transit advocate. Alex, how you doing?
Doing great.
All right, awesome. And Joe Veyera is here. He's an editor at Factal. Joe, it's good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
All right, so before we dive in, don't let anyone tell you that you can't make a change in your neighborhood. 3 years ago, someone painted a guerilla crosswalk at Harvard and East Olive Way on Capitol Hill. This is somebody that looked at a crossing, was really busy, it was unmarked, people used it all the time, was kind of dangerous, and said, you know what, I'm just going to do my own thing, and I'm going to paint my own crosswalk. And now, 3 years later, the city has made it official. So this isn't the only guerilla crosswalk that's popped up in recent years. I'm wondering, is there a spot for a guerilla crosswalk in your neighborhood, Alex?
Yes. Seneca and Boylston. Ooh. If you work for the Department of Transportation and you're listening right now, let's get a crosswalk there, ish immediately.
Okay. All right, Joe?
I can't think of anywhere that needs a crosswalk. I just want drivers to respect the currently existing crosswalks we have.
I see.
I'm a very active pedestrian. There's a lot of flailing going on when I see someone doing something I don't like. Y'all should see my hands right now. They're all over the place.
The flailing.
So the Capitol Hill blog reported on this 3 years ago, and they said that SDOT promptly removed that guerilla crosswalk, but said, we heard the message loud and clear. So how loud and clear could the message be if it took them 3 years to actually put one in?
Well, it is a Seattle 3 years, which is practically nothing. So maybe they really did hear loud and clear that this was the message, and then you can start the whole process.
Yeah.
It's funny because it's true, right?
The Seattle process.
It actually is a timeline that makes a lot of sense. They had to go out and get a grant, and then they took a while to get the grant, and then the grant comes in then this year. And then, they didn't just paint a crosswalk. They put in lights, and there's bulbs, and they narrow the intersection. It is more than just the paint. But, the fact that all of that process and timeline makes sense, is the crazy. Yeah, it does make sense that it took 3 years because that's how the process works, but the process should be different.
Right.
And it can be, and we know it can be, and so that's the weird bind about how long things take in Seattle. Mm-hmm.
And I just wish that there was more you could do in the interim, within that 3 years. Someone has painted a crosswalk. Clearly they are fed up to the point where they felt compelled to do this. Can we get some sort of temporary crosswalk in there in the meantime without all of the additional infrastructure that it eventually needs, just so we can address the immediate issue?
Yes. So this is the thing about Seattle is nobody in Seattle wants to be embarrassed. So nobody will ever do the halfway thing because it has to be perfect before it's good. So I totally agree with you. Like, just like, can it just be like better?
Yeah.
Like a little bit more okay?
Yeah, that's not how we do in Seattle. Because Esther went on to say, we appreciate the passion which has driven someone to paint their own crosswalk. However, this is not the right way to voice your desire for change. We need to be clear that we do not necessarily condone this kind of guerrilla action. But since the person got the results they wanted in the form of an official crosswalk, isn't this maybe kind of the right way to do this? I mean, it worked.
It's only weird if it doesn't work. And it did work.
It worked, and it took 3 years. Like, I feel like if it worked, like if it really worked, they would have done it like right away, right? You know, so they are kind of holding back a little bit. But yes, it did get better for sure. I mean, I am not going to clutch my pearls about people taking action to make sure that, like, because what we're talking about here is it being safe.
Right.
That's about human life being protected. Like, people take that kind of action because they didn't feel safe.
Right,
There's a preschool on the other side of that intersection. Like, this is urgent. So, yeah, like, it shouldn't take that. But I think that people standing up and making a demonstration and calling attention to the things that need to be better in their neighborhood is like what we want more of.
That's right. All right. There we go. All right. Let's move on to the big story here. Now that the shutdown's over and the FAA is lifting all restrictions on flights, the only thing that you have to worry about at the airport is fighting the lines. Okay, so before we dig into the meat of this topic, we need to talk about something that has been gathering a lot of debate lately. The airport wants to be called SEA, not Sea-Tac. So what do you think? Let's go with you, Alex, first. I know you have some good thoughts about this.
Yeah, I'm a hard no.
No?
I'm a hard no on this.
Why?
No, SEA. First of all, it's Tacoma erasure. Like, let's start there. Like, obviously, I'm a Seattleite, so, like, but, like, Tacoma's here, too. I feel like it's trying to be PDX.
Oh,
right?
okay.
And, like, clearly it goes without saying that Seattle is better than Portland, and we
clearly.
never need to even act as though it's a competition.
It is never a competition.
So don't even act like we want any of that. So
Why are we even
I don't
talking
know.
about Portland?
Yeah,
Like,
who?
whatever.
Where?
Portland, Maine?
Okay, so no SEA for you. How about you, Joe? SEA, Sea-Tac?
Stop trying to make SEA happen. It's not going to happen.
You don't think so?
No. It kind of reminds me of, this is probably 10 years ago now, when Washington State University tried to get people to stop using wazoo.
Oh, yeah.
And nobody went for that. And look at where they are now. They've got wazoo on the football helmets.
That's right,
Like,
they do.
Wazoo up the wazoo.
But I'll give you this one. Key Arena became Climate Pledge, and a lot of us said, we're never going to call it Climate Pledge. It's always going to be Key Arena. I don't hear anybody calling it Key Arena anymore.
Yeah, okay, point taken. But, like, I still definitely say CenturyLink, and I'm pretty sure that's not accurate.
Lumen? You don't say Lumen?
No.
What about T-Mobile Park? It used to be Safeco.
Listen, I'm out here being like, meet me at the Kingdom.
So officials at SEA/Sea-Tac want you to take your time, pack your patience, and ask for help if you need it. The Seattle Times laid out all of these tips in a very helpful piece that you can go read. The busiest days around Thanksgiving at the airport are Tuesdays and Wednesdays. That's before Thanksgiving. And Sunday and Monday after. So those are the days that you probably want to avoid if you tend to travel stressed. So do you have any trips coming up next week? Are either of you going to stick around here, go somewhere?
I am not going anywhere, and thank goodness, because if I did have a trip planned for next week, I'd probably already be at the airport, just like waiting for my flight.
Yeah, I'm really lucky. You know, I was born here. All my family lives here. I never have to fly at Thanksgiving. And it's a good thing because I'm like really bratty when people are doing amateur stuff at the airport.
Like what? What kind of bratty stuff?
Literally like huffing and like it's so rude. I'm not my best self.
Passive aggressive, letting them know.
It's not my best me at all.
Is anybody at their best when they're going through the TSA?
Good point. Good point.
Do any of you use TSA Pre?
I have TSA Pre. You know what? My recommendation, though, is Spot Saver.
Oh, yeah, Spot Saver.
So you can go on the Sea-Tac Airport website and then reserve your spot in the TSA line. They give you this window of time, and it's such a hack. Yeah.
But if we tell too many people about it and too many people use it, does that negate the cool secret?
We can keep this all between us,
Just
right?
between us, right?
Yeah.
No one else is here.
Yeah.
All right, nobody else is going to hear it. Okay,
No.
great. Shh. Airport officials and airlines suggest that travelers be inside the terminal 2 hours in advance of a domestic flight, 3 hours ahead of an international flight, especially if you want to check luggage. And everybody wants to check luggage for international flights. So is that realistic? Joe, you said you're going to be there a week before.
Yeah, I'm there now.
So you're good.
Yeah,
you're at the
I'm all
airport
set.
right now going through TSA. Fantastic. How about you, Alex?
Yeah, I'm like a first at the gate, last on the plane kind of person.
Oh, what do you do at the airport?
I I'll get my steps in.
Okay.
Because you're about
That's
to go
good.
sit down for a long time. So I do that. I like to go to Florette. Shout out to Florette.
What's Florette?
It's Cafe Flora's place that's inside, right at the kind of in the center concourse.
Yeah.
It's vegan. It's delicious. It's cute. They're nice there. I like that. Yeah.
That's cool. Sub Pop Records. I like to go to that store. Surprisingly, there's some good news at the airport this week. Checkpoint 6 opened up on Monday, which would relieve some congestion. And this is on top of other tweaks being made to the airport ahead of 2026 World Cup, like roadway improvements, expanding the sea concourse. Are there any improvements to the airport that's going to make it easier to have to go to the airport, or is it always going to be annoying?
I can't imagine living in a world where this is not an ordeal.
Always going to be an
It's
ordeal.
always going to be an ordeal. Like you said, we're not bringing our best selves to Sea-Tac, to Sea-Tac, not SEA. That's how it is. That's how it's always going to be. I can't imagine a better world in that way. I can imagine us putting in guerilla crosswalks and making our communities better. Can't imagine a better airport experience.
Okay, I got one for you though.
Okay.
We build a light rail across the bridge, and people from all across the region will be able to get to the airport every 4 to 12 minutes.
Wow, spoken like a true transit advocate.
Yeah, I can. You know what? I'll deliver that for you guys in the next 6 months. How about that?
We're going to hold you to it.
That's it.
Guerrilla light rail. Here for that. Here for that.
So here's a helpful tip for pickup and drop-off, by the way. Airport officials always say that people pull over on the north end of the drop-off area as soon as they see the Alaska Airlines sign. They say, keep moving a little bit further and to avoid all the congestion. You don't have to be in that right lane right away. And a reminder, you could either use the arrivals or departure lanes to pick people up or drop them off. It all goes to the same place. So, okay. We're going to set public transit aside for just a second for this question, Alex. And I want to know, are you the type of person that would offer a ride to a friend from or to the airport?
Okay, so I do feel a little called out here. I myself love to ride to the airport, and I suggest it for others if it makes sense to you. But sometimes it doesn't make sense, right? You got to be there late, or you got a bunch of stuff. I don't think there's any shame in getting a ride some of the time or part of the way.
Okay.
I gave my dad a ride to the airport recently. He's an old man. His flight was at 10 p.m. Mm-hmm. Makes sense for him.
Okay, so you would do that for a friend.
Of course.
Right on.
Yeah.
How about you, Joe?
It is a case-by-case basis. I do not want to set myself up for failure with my friends right now, but I will always pick up my fiance from the airport, 100%.
Well, I mean, you would hope.
That's the obvious one.
I think that's what us in the women community call the bare minimum.
We also talked this month on the show about people's insistence on parking on the shoulder of the highway before the airport, not using the cell phone lot. Reminder that you're going to get fined if you do that, and of course you look like a jerk. So something big that airport officials are emphasizing, ask for help if you need it. There are more than 100 members of the airport's Pathfinder team that are there to help you. And this travel tends to induce anxiety for all of us, especially around the holidays. Are you the type of person that's going to ask for help in the chaos, or are you too proud? How about you, Joe?
This is why I get there so early. I can make those mistakes and eventually figure out where I'm going.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I really identify with those memes that's like me trying to prove to the TSA agent that no one has ever been more prepared or efficient and ready to go. So, like, no, I would never bring myself to ask for help at the airport because I need to project total competence at all times.
Wow, you're there to impress the TSA agents and, and
they know.
the Pathfinder team. They know. They
can
see
see
you
it.
running.
They can see
Yeah.
it.
They already see you going through Spot Saver, and they're like, they know.
That's
They
somebody
know.
who gets it.
Look at her.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
All right. We're going to move on from the airports and all that to talk about some parking tickets. Watch your windshield wipers for little slips of paper. The Seattle Times FYI guy put together a list of hotspots for parking tickets around the city. Nearly 650,000 tickets were issued between January 1st of 2024 and September 30th of this year. Most tickets will cost you in the neighborhood of, $40 to $80, but some severe violations could go up to $250. So how often do you see somebody park illegally in Seattle, and often do they have a ticket on the windshield?
I'm definitely not parked illegally right now. And it's kind of weird that we're talking about this.
Who said anything about illegal parking?
Who said anything about illegal parking?
How many parking tickets have either of you gotten before?
Okay, so I lived in Seattle without a car for over a decade, and part of the reason why I got rid of the car in the first place was because I lived in an apartment with no parking spot on First Hill.
Okay.
I certainly got a lot of parking tickets.
Okay.
And that really made me get rid of that car and be like, I need to figure it out.
Did you have to move the car across the street and
Oh my God, you got the thing and you can park on this side but not that side, and are you within 30 feet or not? It's just like, oh man. And I was like, I'm just gonna set this car on fire in the middle of the street.
That's another ticket.
Yeah, that's that $250 ticket for sure.
So the number one place for parking tickets by a long shot was Golden Gardens. That parking there is free, but the lot is usually so crowded in the summer that people settle for parking illegally. Have you ever tried to park at Golden Gardens in the summer?
I wish I hadn't. Always wish I hadn't. I think you look at places that rack up the parking tickets like Golden Gardens, and you're like, why don't we make it easier for people to get to Golden Gardens through other methods?
Okay.
Yes. Just like I don't fly at Thanksgiving, I don't drive to Golden Gardens in the summer.
What do you do?
Well, I like to take, I'm going to sound like a one-trick pony here, but I love to ride my bike there. Like you can go on the Berkman Trail, and if you start from Seattle, you can go along the waterfront, along the Sculpture Garden, Myrtle Edwards. It is heavenly, it is flat, it is beautiful, and it's that I can't believe I live here kind of feeling. And then I just come back to the U District from there, and I take the light rail on my bike up, so you don't have to go up the hill.
Okay.
That's the way to do it.
All 5 of the top 5 spots are either in or next to city parks or right by beautiful bodies of water. Golden Gardens, Lake Union Park, Portage Bay, Magnuson, and Seward Parks. What does that say about our parking setup in these popular spots? Is it the fault of the people getting the tickets or just lack of space?
I mean, people want to go where they want to go. These places are beautiful. They're some of these are literally designated as regional attractions. So we know people are coming from all over them. I did, I'm nerdy, so I went and looked. Only one of those parks has actual paid parking on the streets outside of it. Lake Union Park. So the other ones, you don't make people have to move their car every 2 hours or have a reason to go. And so it induces a lot of the kind of things where people are blocking driveways and getting tickets that way. So I also think it's also notable these places also don't have a whole lot of housing, again, other than Lake Union Park. And so people can't just normally get to them even if you live close to them.
Right. And then the idea of setting the 2-hour parking limits. How often are you going to Golden Gardens for 2 hours? That's if you're committing to going there, that's a day long.
Yeah, you go to Golden Gardens, you're there all day and night, until the sun sets. And
so here's my proposal: Beachhead Direct. We're building off the success of Trailhead Direct. We're going to have a take you to the beach bus line. In my community, that's the 11 can take you down to Madison Park Beach. The number 2 that I ride, that's my bus, takes me right to Madrona Park. But some of these other ones that we've talked about, Joe, you were saying, like Seward and Discovery and Magnuson, they're isn't that great of transit there. So just like make it easier for people to go to these really cool places and build more housing there and let everybody enjoy your beautiful stuff.
I mean, that would be amazing.
Like, I think people would love being able to leave the car at home and easily access these places.
Sure.
Yeah.
Who likes fighting for a parking spot? Travel, for example, we were talking about travel. None of that stresses me out. I can go, I'm fine, right? But looking for a parking spot is one of the most biggest stressors for me. I absolutely despise it.
100%. And you're not alone. I literally do research about this all the time. And I can tell you that even though most Americans are in some sort of forced car dependency based on where they live and where they need to go, people do not like it.
Yeah.
And they say that over and over and over again in surveys. People are desperate for better options.
Yep.
And we see that every time you open a new transit line or a new bus line or you make it easier, like people come. That's what they want. That's what we want.
Exactly. So notable that none of the top 5 spots are standard city blocks, but 2 of the top 10 locations are right here on the Ave next to our KUOW studios, where you probably parked. Joe?
For legal reasons, I am declining to comment any further on my parking situation.
Okay, so there's a great nugget from this story. The FYI guy was able to find the top recipient of parking tickets, and it's a lot. So there's an owner of a Volkswagen. This person amassed a remarkable 175 citations, all of them on 12th Avenue Northeast in the U District, and all of them for failure to pay for parking.
So, first of all, I do want to clarify, I am not this person, even though I do drive a Volkswagen. But that's not me. But I don't know, I kind of look at it as like guerrilla parking. Like, this person is deciding where they should be able to park, and, you know, I'm not going to say more power to them, but like, that's a choice. That's certainly a choice.
It's a level of scofflaw you don't often see. And so, while I certainly don't condone this in any part of it, at this point, I'm like, it seems like it's a grudge match. So I'm like, whatever's going down between the parking enforcement and this Volkswagen has got to be epic. Like, this must be discussed at dinner tables. It's a beef.
It is a beef, yeah.
I wish I had the ability to do the mental math of like, okay, how much is this in terms of like the number of parking tickets at whatever price? Like what, 175 at $50 a pop?
I mean, is he paying those? He's not paying
no.
those. So how did he still have his car?
Right. Where's the boot?
Right?
Don't they just tow you or boot
That's
you?
what I
like,
thought.
That's
Yeah.
what I don't.
Exactly.
A loophole?
Yeah, maybe it's just, loosey-goosey around here. I don't know. We should test that out.
You should go find this person, and like I want to see them like just like ripping it up and throwing it on the ground.
So quick math from our producer Vaughn: 175 times 40, $7,000. That's assuming it's just $40 tickets that this guy's getting.
Buy a car for that.
That's right, or a whole lot of bus passes. We're going to leave it right there. Alex Hudson is a local transit advocate, and Joe Veyera is an editor at Factal. Thank you, Joe.
Thanks so much.
And thank you, Alex.
Thank you.
I appreciate you listening to Seattle Now, and thanks to our generous donors for your support. You can help us by clicking the link in the show notes and following and rating the show on your podcast app. Today's episode was produced by Vaughn Jones. It was edited by Andy Hurst. Our production team also includes Caroline Chamberlain Gomez, Brooklyn Jamerson Flowers, Paige Browning, and Patricia Murphy. Greg Kramer does our theme music. Seattle Now and KUOW Public Radio are members of the NPR network. I'm Zeki Hamid. Be kind to each other, and see you soon.